Hey guys, so the next FR that we will be getting in GL is Warrior of Light. Warrior of Light FR is definitely designed for often strategy, especially one with enemy taking many turns. Every time the enemy takes a turn and attacks the party, we get up to 40%. There's a typo on screen, it's not 50%, it's actually 40%. And the best thing about it is that his FR has 50% HP damage limit up. So every often attack with Wall FR as the main FR being activated, every character will be hitting harder. So even though Warrior of Light does not do an often attack, he does contribute to the total damage from all the often attack, from the on-turn attack, and that makes it great. But the main question is that how often will you bring him for most of the fight? Because not every fight is often friendly. Some you prefer to do rush down, and if you are doing rush down, you probably will not find Warrior of Light very useful because you probably will get just maybe 400, 500 HP damage bonus when you can easily use other character and get up to 999%. But anyway, for often strategy specifically, I'm giving Warrior of Light 4 out of 5. For BD phase strategy, rush down strategy, no, 0 over 5, right? So do not use him in that setup, okay? But instead, if you still want to use Warrior of Light in those setup, you can still use his FR as an echo, just basically to increase the HP damage bonus, but that depends on which main FR that you activate. So first of all, his echo inflict locks and renew shield. So why do I specifically mention this? Because if you are not using an FR as a main FR, you will not be getting any bonus such as the 50% HP damage limit up, because that requires the main FR's effect being active, and you will not get the HP damage bonus condition will not be activated. So in that case, we just want to look into what utility does the FR brings. If it has any form of utility, there's added bonus. So Warrior of Light, usually every time when it comes back to his turn, we will use either his LD, S1 or S2 to renew his shield, but now you can use his echoes as well, which actually makes it pretty good. But in most situations, if you are not using Warrior of Light FR, the main FR, you probably will not bring him into your main party, because let's assume that if you set up an often strategy party and you have Core as the main FR that you will be activating, or like Minwoo or like Beatrix, you probably won't use Warrior of Light here because he does not deal additional often attack, and you won't get the bonus of the 50% HP damage limit up. So it's better off using like Auron, Counter Tanks, Gladiolus, right? So all those characters will add up, will provide additional often attacks and increase the total damage output. And usually in those setup, you already have a very good a bunch of defensive units, like you bring Gladiolus, and then you have some healer like Maria, traps, healing traps, and you have Core with HP damage mitigation. So in that case, you probably will not need Warrior of Light's shield. But if you are running Dark Knight Cecile, because Dark Knight Cecile does have that 80% HP damage bonus if you set it up right, and it does bring the party to a very risky position in terms of their HP, and with Warrior of Light shield, he provide party defense and even HP damage mitigation all the way to 0, and that really helps Dark Knight Cecile setup. But anyway, for a BT phase rush down, if the enemy has a lot of HP damage, HP threshold attack, then Warrior of Light will be very useful because his shield will be able to protect the entire party. So in that case, I will definitely bring him in and use his FR as echoes. Else, I probably will not be using his FR that much. So in that case, I'm giving his echoes FR a 3 over 5. So up to this case, it seems like Warrior of Light's FR is really situational. You don't really need it much. Maybe, but I still want to remind that if there's any players out there who doesn't have his kit, make sure to still pull for it, at least for his LD. Because in terms of his base kit, Warrior of Light Shield with his LD mitigating damage is one of the best defensive mechanisms we have. Most of the counter tanks even, they can't really protect the entire party. So Warrior of Light is one of the characters that does so. A single attack or AoE attack, he will be protecting the party as long as his shield is up. So it's definitely one of the best defense mechanisms that we have, and you must pull for it if you do not have his LD yet. So getting Warrior of Light up to his LD is vital. And having the more tanks in your roster is definitely something really useful, especially if lockout events will become something that is more frequent in the future. So if you'll be getting a lot of crevasse or even D2D, as you can see from the past D2D that we have, if 7 fights and if you have 7 tanks, it actually makes your fight really easy. Or like easier. It's not to say like it becomes an easy win, but it does make it much easier than if you do not have a tank in your party. So in that case, do consider to collect tanks. Of course, if you have his FR, that's even better, but if not, just get up to his LD and his LDCA. His LD call is also one of the best, even up to date. I'm still using his call for many form of situation, so do get it. Okay, so just based on his defense, he is worth a 5/5. So personally for me, Warrior of Light is great up to his LD. FR and BT will make him better with the added HP damage limit up, Brave Refund from his BT effect and things like that. It definitely does help the party out. But if you are low on resource and decided that you want to skip it, then you can. You won't be finding that you will be losing a lot. So yeah, so I've been saying this a lot. Get his LD. How many times have I been saying that? So don't skip on that. Okay? But personally, I probably will not be using him that much. I've tested him with Neon. He does work. Neon has a very generic FR, and with Warrior of Light, Echoes is 90%, but Neon is a turn hogging character, so I actually want a character that contribute more damage in terms of having off-turn attack. Warrior of Light doesn't contribute to that, so I probably won't be using him as much in my main team, but as his call, I will definitely be using him often. Anyway, yeah, before you decide to skip on Wool, do consider what I mentioned previously about his LDCA, about his locked-out, and the usefulness of his shield. Right? So overall, I would give Warrior of Light a score of 8/10. And for anyone who is pulling him tomorrow, good luck. I hope that you get all his kit and enjoy. Thank you.